But at the end of the day, though, I'll shoot any deer that gets me worked up. You see the other deer that I've shot this year, I shot a 5-point and I don't even know what the other one is, maybe a 6-point. I was so worked up shooting the one, I shouldn't have, it should have never worked out because I was on my phone being an idiot, not paying attention.
Right.
The number one reason that I kill deer for most of the time is that there's always that micro habitat within the area that you're hunting. They try to stick tight to that cover and finding those little travel corridors where if you can get into a spot and identify that, especially on the first sit you're there and can capitalize on it because you picked the right spot the first time. The amount of times that I walk in on a first day sit and that's when it would have happened, and then you try to repeat that and it never does again. It's like I should have just done what I said, because that happened to me this year in Oklahoma. I would have ended up with a much bigger buck.
Welcome back to Hunt the Season podcast. On this one here, I had the honor of sitting down with someone who I graduated with, Devin Apple. This one here, we talk about HuntBNB. It is, so when you go out of state, like I've done a few out of state hunts, and you always try and find Airbnbs or campgrounds that are close enough to the places that you're hunting that it's not too far that you got to drive every morning. This pretty much is that. So Devin and a few of his buddies have put in the work, scouted the areas, found out the places that are, close to public that is good for hunting, fishing, waterfowl, you name it. They've found a few places in different states that you can rent. You can contact the owners of the HuntBNBs themselves and book it straight through them. So it takes out kind of the middleman and saves you probably a little bit of money and helps them make a little bit more money. But we also talk about deer. It was like a deer camp episode, really. Never shared deer camp with Devin before. This is the first time that he was on the podcast, that he's been on a podcast, I believe. But he puts in a lot of work. He gets down some good deer. We talk about how he gets on those deer. His number one reason for getting on the deer. We talk trail cameras. We talk public lands. We talk scouting. We talk hunting stories. It's just a really fun episode. But hope you guys really enjoy it. Go check out HuntBNB. If you have an out-of-state trip planned, make sure you check out HuntBNB. They may have a rental in the area that you want to stay in. I just got out of the woods. Today is the 10th, I believe. Yeah, October 10th. And it was 37 degrees, 36 degrees this morning. And I was like, I'm taking off work. I got to get in a tree. And man, it felt so good. On the way to my spot, there was deer running in front of me with my headlights on, all that kind of stuff. Got to my spot. It was such a good morning. I didn't see anything, but there's a positive I think you should take out of every time you go into the woods. And this was a huge positive. Everything that I had, I took one trip up, got set up. That's always been my goal. And for some reason I could never do it. And this time I did. I put a S-hook on the back of my saddle. I put a tow rope on the side of my dump pouch, and I made the rope myself. I made the pull up rope myself out of some leftover rope I had, an S-hook, and a carabiner. So it was fantastic. I walked into a spot. I was going to go to the bedding area. Well, I think it's a good bedding area. Lots of buck sign, lots of rubs, lots of scrapes, lots of deer poop, heavy trails. I was going to go in there this morning, but I was like, I don't know a good route in there. I don't have good access to this spot. So I was like, as I was driving this morning, I made the executive decision that I'm just going to go to the spot that I think that they may be traveling at. So I went to a good area I know of. I thought it was a good area. I mean, it's still a good area. I found a scrape right there, and I set up on the scrape, and there was a creek to my left. I set up right there, so my thermals were dumping out into that. I got in. It was quiet. I got set up quietly. Nothing blew. It was great. It was a fantastic morning. It was cold. I could have swore I heard things walking around me the whole time I was in the woods, especially before the sun came up. But the moon was like, it wasn't full. It was a waxing gimbus or whatever. I don't know what it is, a waxing moon. But it was still very bright. Stars were out. As I turned my headlamp off, once I got my camera set up, once I got all my stuff set up, I turned my headlamp off, just sat there, and you could see the moon rays like lighting up the forest floor. It was so cool. It was a cold morning, and I would not have changed a single thing about it. It would have been cool to get one this morning. It would have been cool to get a doe or to see one or to see a bear or to see something. But man, that was a great morning. I enjoyed the heck out of that morning right there. And an update, I did sell my camcorder. I am now purely recording with this here, the DSLR, the Canon M50 Mark II. I'm going to be recording with that. I don't feel like I needed a camcorder and a DSLR. I felt like, the camcorder was good for recording video. The DSLR is great for recording video as well as taking pictures. So that's pretty much the reason why I got rid of the camcorder, just because I rather take something in the woods with me that can do two things compared to just one thing. Yeah, the camcorder can take pictures, but it's not going to be as good as pictures as DSLR. I will be looking for a new lens though for this. Right now I'm running the 15 to 45, just the stock lens. But I'm going to be trying to find an 18 to 200 IS STM. It's their quiet zoom, all that kind of stuff. Autofocus, the quiet autofocus is what you want. So I'm going to try and do that. But really hope you guys enjoy this episode. Go check out HuntBNB. Please give us a rating, review on Apple, Spotify. Check out our partners, Code of Silence, OnX, Camp Co, Deer Hunter Synthetic. I feel like I'm missing some, but at this moment right now, I'm in the truck and I don't have any notes in front of me, and I don't really have a whole thing planned for each partner. So they're in the description of the podcast. I know Code of Silence is Hunt Season 10. It'll save you 10%. Camp Co is HTS. Deer Age is HTS. Deer Hunter Synthetic don't have a discount code for that. OnX don't have a discount code for that. But really appreciate you guys checking out the podcast, listening, and I really hope you enjoy, and hopefully you got some stuff down. I'm going to be going out as this drops. I will be in the woods October 13th, Columbus Day. Hopefully it rains a little bit so I can get set up on a scrape that a really nice 7-point's been coming to. I'll let you guys know, keep you updated. See you guys.
Looked clear when I shot.
Yeah.
But
Was that the first? So you've hunted Maryland, you hunted Ohio. Are those the only two states other than PA you've hunted?
yeah, Maryland and Ohio.
Gotcha.
So, Illinois. Illinois. Yeah.
Gotcha.
We got it was 2 years ago. We got invited out there by an outfitter
Oh, nice.
to hunt. All we had to pay for.
Oh yeah, I
was
think
the
I
tag.
saw your pictures on your Instagram.
Yeah, because we only got. I saw a 180 out there, which was kind of crazy. Coming from PA to go out there and see in a 180.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, he was like 80 yards away.
Yeah, still
it's
though.
like I was in a tree like this big in my saddle, and I was shaking so much.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, it was also like 19 degrees outside too, so it could have been a multitude of things why I was shaking.
Yeah, but to know they're out there that's. If you see one for the first time, the first big deer you ever see in the woods is like, holy shit! Like I didn't know. You never think. I don't know. You always grew up watching videos of it, and you're like, I've never seen. I've been hunting for a long time. It isn't until I didn't start getting serious about deer hunting until 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I always shot deer, but I'd never cared what I was trying to go duck hunting. So I'd shoot the first deer that came in. I didn't really care. And that's when I had private land when I was younger. When you're 12, you can knock on a farmer's door and get permission, and they're not going to tell you no. You turn 18, and they're like, "Yeah, no, it's okay. We don't we don't want you here."
Yeah,
so,
no, it is kind of that mindset shift of because I'm kind of the same way. Maybe 3 years ago is when I got seriously into just whitetails in general. I'm not big into any other hunting ducks or waterfowl in general, or even small game, or you name it. I'm really not into it. It's just I'm ate up by deer, and it's like, you're right. Like when you go through the stage of like when you're 12 to like
it's wild
21, it's like, oh, a deer, like you don't know when you're gonna see the next one. Now it's like when you put more work in, you're probably gonna see more deer.
yeah especially when you spend a lot more time in the woods and start paying attention and not just trying to be quiet and looking around.
Or like make sure you don't like, mess up your hunt for your dad.
No, that's what I was. Well, see, I never really had to worry about it because my dad, like, he smoked cigarettes. So, like, I was like, if he's now older than me, I'm like, well, then it really didn't matter. But you know what? I've watched him shoot so many deer with a cigarette in hand. Like, it's wild. And again, it's playing the wind. Did we necessarily, when I was that young, I don't think that we were necessarily playing the wind.
Right.
I just think it happened that way, but worked out.
When you're thinking back then, it's like, was I playing the wind or just like
we were just walking?
Just walking.
I feel like every time I was ever hunting when I was younger, we were just walking.
Oh yeah.
I mean, like, my grandpa knew how to hunt, and my pap knew how to hunt, and my dad knew how to hunt. Like, they taught me things, but like not to the level of detail that we go into it now. Like the stuff that I talked to my dad about, like, I don't think back then he even knew that stuff because it's now that we have such an access to information, we can all learn it. Whereas before it was like, it was really just experience because nobody was talking about it. So unless you knew an old guy that knew the tricks, and even then I feel like it's just gotten so more scientific in the approach now. And you can go into the weeds on it as much as you want to try to, it's just.
It's kind of, it's very overwhelming. Kind of like it also makes you second guess almost every single step or every kind of setup you have or think you have because you're like, okay, I have this perfect tree set up. There's a scrape up here. There's a trail down here. I see all these rubs down here. There's feeding right over here. I don't think I should set up there now.
Then you can go there one day and not see a single deer, but you set it on the right day, you'll see 10.
Yeah,
that's what I've learned, and it's like that's what drives me insane about it. Because one thing I did do that's improved my overall mental health throughout the season is I just gave up on trail cameras. I gave up paying attention to them, and I killed the biggest deer I've ever shot this year off of reading sign. Now, granted, is that the only reason? No, there was luck involved. There's always luck involved to me, at least in my world. It's always luck. But yeah, if it wasn't for that, I just started hunting my cameras so much when I had them, and I was basing too many decisions off of it, and I should have just been there because I've been in the tree multiple times and looked around, and I watch a deer cross. I'm like, oh, that thing crossed my camera. Yeah. And I was like, I just watched it happen. I'm like, a buck could do that every day, and I would never know.
Yep.
So I just gave up on it.
So are you talking, and first we have to introduce yourself first, but before it's okay, we'll roll with it. But like, when you say you gave up on cameras, did you give up on all cameras, like SD
pretty much.
and cell cameras?
Yeah, okay. I had like last year I had 2 cell cameras out just because I had them, and they were the spy points, which I despise. I won't.
Yeah, they suck.
I can't. It's
I
like
put
looking
it
at
with
an
a Tasco.
old.
Like the cell links.
Yep.
Put it inside with a Tasco. Picture was absolutely blurry. I had a nice big buck on it.
Yeah,
but I couldn't see
You can't tell what it is. Nope. It could be an 8-point, could be a 10-point, it could be a spike. You have no idea. It's all just blurry. It's pixels. Yeah. But I put those 2 out just to kind of, get a idea of if there was something around, and I didn't even hunt where it was. I got nice bucks on camera. I put my dad over there. He shot a buck right there, maybe 100 yards away in the hollow where I told him to sit.
Right.
My buddy Shane went up there. I put him in the same spot. He had multiple opportunities. Saw the big buck that I had that walked through there, crossed him twice. No. So like the deer were there, but like to me, I didn't really care. It wasn't. I've gotten to the point now where I want to, on public land, especially like up there, I know I've seen big deer. I want a 120 or bigger, if I manage to make it to December in rifle season, things change a little bit. Late season, things change. It also depends on how my season was leading up to that.
Right, yeah.
So, but yeah, I don't know. It's just, the cameras just drove me insane. And now that I'm free of them, like Casey's addicted to them.
I have 33 cameras.
Yeah, see? Everybody's just digging themselves into the hole.
I got rid of cell cams. Okay. So that's one thing. Like I that's where my mental health was lost. It was like I had like these, I had stealth and I had muddies, and I'm like looking at them like, oh man, it's like 2 a.m. You wake up and it's like, oh man,
you're an addict. Yeah. This is what it is. This is what it is.
It's like a cocaine addiction,
pretty
right?
much. Pretty much.
Never did it, but I imagine
you always go back to it.
I imagine it's pretty good, right? Anyway, Devin, how about you introduce yourself to the listeners? I know who you are. because we went to high school together.
Yes.
So introduce yourself to the listeners. We kind of already dove into how you got into hunting. So like what you're with and all that kind of stuff.
My name's Devin Apple. Grew up with Cody here in Elizabethtown, Pennsylvania. I recently started my company, HuntBNB. Just getting that off the ground in January. So thank you for having me on here.
Yeah.
Help spread the word a little bit.
Yeah, it's when I saw it, I was like, that is a good idea. Because I see a lot of public land hunters renting Airbnbs, but they're not fit. Like, they're not, the location-wise, it's like, why am I in a dorm room in college when, like, I'm nowhere close to where I want to hunt.
Yeah, and we're trying to just basically put people as close as we can to, like, decent public hunting. I mean, we're not saying, like, I'm not trying to mislead people when you're going here and, like, you're in the best spot ever. It's public land hunting. But that being said, we travel around a lot every year. We go to a bunch of different places. I mean, knock on wood, we've been successful everywhere we've ever been, at least with opportunity if we didn't kill. Like, so, I mean, I'd like to think we know a little bit, that we know what we're doing. We figure it out. You know, we stumble our way through it, but we get there. So we're just trying to help other people out and kind of put them in the same type of scenario.
Yeah. So how did that come about? Like, what was the brainchild behind it? Like, when was that moment? Like,
well, I've always been like, I always think about, like, I bounced around business ideas with my buddies. Like, any of my close friends, every day spitballing, just if I'm in the truck, because, like, all I do is drive around for work and I'm in sales, so I just spitball all day. Like, what about this? What about this? What about this? And I've always had the idea that I wanted to buy my own properties in the areas that I hunt and then rent them out, so that way I just had a place to stay when I want to go back to the place I want to hunt.
Right.
And I bought a cabin, and then I bought a duplex first, and I rent out one side of that and I live in the other, which allows me to live pretty much for free.
Right. Yeah.
So I was able to buy my cabin, and I was like, well, I'll just keep buying cabins. No, that ain't happening. I don't got money like that. So I was like, well, I'll just work with people. And especially going around, and, like, I go up to the Allegheny National Forest to hunt, which is a small town. And there's Airbnbs that we stay up out there. I'm sure you see me, Tony, all of us go up there. You know, we get a big group together. We have a blast. That's like our deer camp. So since we started doing that kind of was like, well, and then with the traveling to hunt, it was just made sense. I was like, well, I can just work with these owners and help them promote their listing to hunters.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, not up there, obviously that's in a hunting town, but there's other areas where their slow time is when it's a prime hunting or fishing season, and they don't even know.
Yeah.
So they don't advertise to those people, especially like the people up in, the Northeast for striper fishing, stuff like that. Like, they're vacation renters. That's what they think.
Right.
They don't know when the striper run comes through that there's thousands of anglers that are driving from all over to go to, like, Raritan Bay or, somewhere up there along the coast, striper fishing in the surf.
Yeah.
That is a whole new market for them. And they can be up there, it depends on the time of year, but they'll be running in the fall when there's nobody else up there vacationing. So, like, you can fill up their books. And then also in the smaller towns, just bringing people more business. All those small towns, they thrive off of hunting, some of them.
Yeah.
They live and die by that. So if we can send a couple more people their way and help support the local businesses in the area, it kind of goes hand in hand.
Yeah, because I think that, like, with hunting, like, for example, like, when it went from the Monday opener to Saturday, everyone was complaining about how, like, you lose that business.
Yep.
And this does help a lot, I'm sure, because, like, you're going to a new area. When you do Airbnb or HuntBNB, you're going to a new area that you probably never have been in before. So you're going here and you're checking out new areas. You're checking out the local bars, local dive bars, because I think that's all hunters love, local dive bars.
Exactly.
I love the one that was at my old cabin. Like, the chocolate peanut butter cake there was to die for. Like, that was what I go there for.
Yep. And a lot of small towns have that place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's just a matter of knowing where it's at.
Yeah. And then when you do this, like I said, you always hear people, like, Latitude Outdoors. They travel hunt a lot, and I saw in their Grit series, I think last year, they went to a college dorm, like I said, and it's like, you don't want to be in, like, and the roofs start leaking and all that kind of stuff. It's like, you don't want to be in that. You want to be in a nice place.
And we've stayed in some really sketchy places. Whether it was in a sketchy hotel in the middle of nowhere that smelled like a cigarette, or, just a dirty place. Like, you walk in and there's just, like, we went to this one place. We walked in, and I swear I bet you there was 1,000 dead flies on the floor. Like, you couldn't walk without stepping on them. It was like stepping on little poppers, those little snap.
yeah.
It was like that because they were all.
Were they you feel them like squish underneath?
Yeah, like you would hear them because they were all dried up
God.
because they'd been there for so long. I don't know how they got in there. It was wintertime. I'm assuming they were trying to stay warm.
Oh my!
And they all just died. I was like, this is disgusting. So we swept the path, we swept our little path through there and tried to like push them all out. I was like, this is gross. Like, I don't even want to. We didn't have a dustpan. Like, we didn't know what to do, so we just kind of brushed them all to the side.
So with the hunt, is it like Airbnb? Like, is it like pretty much hand in hand? Like, these houses are probably on Airbnb too?
Yeah, so they're listed with a bunch of different companies. We're more or less helping the property host promote their whatever it is, because some of them use Airbnb, some of them use Vrbo, but there's also a handful of people on here that are like direct booking contacts that have their own website, or they only have a Facebook because they're like doing it all. It's not. Sometimes it's just mom and pop. It's not like it's an actual business. So again, we're trying to help like those people, and that's kind of who we're geared towards working with. Try to stay out of it, because like with Airbnb, there's a bunch of fees for people and stuff. So if we can connect them with with us directly, or the person that they're going to book with, typically it's better for the host, and it's usually better for the guest. And also it allows us to kind of have that relationship there.
Do you have, how many of these have you stayed at?
Probably, I'd say, let's see, probably scroll up to the top for me quick. So
this is
the one in the top
one,
left.
think,
Yep,
too.
the one in the top left. We went and filmed our sick of deer hunt at, me and Lane.
Yep. The one I reviewed.
Yep. The one just below that's where me and all my buddies stay when we go up there.
Okay. That's like a nice place.
The next one over there to the right, over in Oklahoma, that's a place we deer hunt. And then I think that might be it on the hunting pages for
Michigan.
now. Yeah. Yep. And I mean, all these places I pre-scouted. Spoke with the owners and made a few phone calls around the area just to try to like kind of get a vibe for what's going on there. And again, there's as we grow, the plan is to travel to a lot more of these areas and actually film hunts on location or film fishing trips on location. Like that one in Ohio that I think I just put that up on the Facebook yesterday or something like that, or 2 days ago. Like that's a place that we were talking about stopping in and giving a shot, because there's decent public ground around, and some of them too. If you haven't traveled out west before, some of these areas, like there's public land around, but it's also like you can go door knocks. Don't be afraid to go door knock, because we're also in positions like where we know that there's animals that maybe public land's limited, but we've had success door knocking. I don't try to point out which ones that's possible at.
You don't want to give it away too much.
Yeah,
right?
but like just generally speaking, we're putting you in the general right area.
Yeah,
and I think that's. I mean, for the average competent hunter that's looking to go out and have a new experience, I think that's all you can really ask for. Yep. I mean, you go out if you can see deer and get on them. I mean, it's a learning process. I mean, you go to different areas, and I'm sure you learn, like going to Illinois is so different than here, and deer act different everywhere. And I look like an idiot every time we go to a new place, and I think I know what something's going to do, and then I'm like, what is going on? That's just like the dead opposite of what I'm used to. Yeah,
I mean, well, I think in general, like deer are not all the same everywhere you go, and I think I've 100%. Learned that like the last, I'm blatantly honest, like the last year I learned that, like it's like, okay, this deer is not going to do the same thing that the deer I shot is going to do.
Yep.
Like the 9 point I got, like I'm not going to have a buck do the same exact thing the same exact time in the same exact area. Like I think because growing up the way we did, we kind of had that mindset. Until you have that experience where you learn that, it doesn't happen that way.
Yeah, exactly.
But like going out to Ohio, like when you post that one, because my wife has always had like this dream of like going out there and like sitting in front of a fire inside of a cabin, and then I'm out hunting with my buddies and stuff like that, and then we come back and we have dinner together and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
Like I showed her that, and she was like, that would be kind of nice.
So it's funny you say that, because when we went set up at TAC, that was our first trade show. That was kind of like the first public like unveiling of the company, I guess. And when we were sitting in line, there was literally everybody's wife kept coming, because it's the only thing, like they know the hunting stuff, but they associate more with like something like that. It just caters a little bit more to them. Dude, they all came over and were asking questions about it, and it's like that's part of the deal too, because like if you can get them to go, I mean, it just makes it better, because you don't got to worry about anything, and it's like everybody's cool, everybody's happy. You know,
especially if
it works hand in hand.
Like though, let's say this one in Colorado, right? If you're near like some kind of town where there's shopping, and you can go out and hunt elk, they can go in town and just shop,
right? There's a ton of places that there's all kinds of stuff around that they can go check out.
Like sometimes it's worth, here's my credit card. I'm gonna go shop.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
it gets you some freedom for a little bit.
Here's
Yep.
my credit card, right?
Yep.
But yeah, that's and then you have fishing ones too, which some of these are also like I'm sure crossover too.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out with the website what's the best way to go about that. Currently, we're working on getting a search bar up there. That way, you'll be able to search by state and species.
Okay.
So that'll be something nice. And then, yeah, some of these, like the one up there on the top right, is actually one of my buddy's properties up north near Pine Creek.
Okay.
So I've been up there, been fishing up there. That's a really nice spot to stay. And then some of these other ones, like here's a good example. And there's all different kinds of properties on here, but that Magnolia Ridge Ranch one, there's not really much around that other than the fishing, and there's 3 private stocked ponds on that property. Okay. So that's what you're there for. It's more of a vacation. That's a nice easy spot. If you wanted to take the kids and the wife, you could just go fishing out back. It's not too stressful, but you get to do a little bit of something when you want to do. Yeah. So there's also properties like that, and then there's hardcore, you're going there to hunt. There's nothing else going on.
Is there ones where you're really roughing it? Not necessarily roughing it, but
not really, because honestly, we don't like to rough it. I don't really like to. I mean, we go out there when we go out to Nebraska or we go certain places. We'll go out there and put ourselves through a bunch of shit while we're out there. But when we come back at the end of the day, straight up, we're truck hunters. I'm not afraid to say that either. That's half the reason why I haven't even decided to elk hunt. I don't mind killing a mule deer because we can pack it out.
Right.
And elk, shit, I don't know if I feel like doing that. Unless I can shoot it within a mile of the road, which is you can do that. So, that's probably what I'll try to do if I go do it.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard people, pack them out, by themselves. Mm-hmm. You're in this valley, and you got to pack it up a hill.
Yeah, that doesn't sound fun.
It's the mountains up in, Clinton, Potter County, and Allegheny National Forest are huge. To pack a deer out of there.
Yeah, I've traveled a good bit up there, but it's still not a mountain.
No,
and that's where it's dude, the one spot we hunt out west in Nebraska for mule deer, it's canyons, but we were just talking about this the other day. I drew a tag this year again, so I'm going back.
Okay,
very pumped about that. But when we get to the one night we were talking how we watched this group of deer and we were following them. And I knew we were getting further and further from the truck. And we get the last attempt of the day. I blow the stalk. We're sitting there watching them run away. You can watch them run forever. When they get on the flat ground out of the canyon, you can watch them run for 3 days till they get out of your sight. Because they're just going. So we're sitting there watching them run. And I look back at the truck. I'm like, dude, we got to go the whole way back there. And it's the truck is a little speck out there, and it's not even the distance alone is a problem, but the fact that we have to cross all of the canyons that we cross to get here. So it's triple the distance, and then you got the elevation going. It's when we shot a deer and got it out from there, I was it was only a mile and a half. It wasn't terrible,
right?
But we still had to get out of the canyons. But a mountain, no.
Yeah, it's kind of funny that you bring that up. It's I think everyone's kind of that mindset. It's when you're chasing after the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it doesn't matter then.
It doesn't matter, but then you don't get that.
It's the kick of your gun. It doesn't matter when you're shooting at something. It only matters when you're target shooting. But, yeah. When
you target shooting, it hurts like a bitch.
Yeah.
But then when you shoot an animal in the woods, the buck I shot this year, I didn't feel a single thing.
Yep.
It was
You'll never notice it.
Never noticed it. Both shots, didn't notice it.
Yep. You get so wrapped up in doing it that.
Yeah.
And all bets are off too. If it's a buck, or whatever animal it is you're after, if it's game on to kill it, you'll do whatever.
So did you get one this year out there?
No.
Okay.
Not a mule deer.
Okay.
We haven't been able to hunt that area for 3 years.
Okay.
Because they switched the tags around, and I think we missed our opportunity. Technically, we should have went out last year, but we missed our opportunity because we went to South Africa.
Okay.
And when we were there, the draw went on, and we didn't buy our preference points.
Okay.
So we were out a year, so then it pushed us back 2 years. And I wasn't even supposed to draw this year. I had a very small chance of drawing.
Right.
And I somehow got it. So
okay.
So now moving forward, one of us should draw. We should only have one gap year at max between going back out.
Okay.
And we specifically didn't want one of us to draw, so one of us could be dedicated to filming. Mm-hmm. Because if we both had a tag, not that we wouldn't have tried, but if it came down to the last 3 days, we're splitting up and we're just going to go find our own deer to kill. We're not going to sit time with each other.
I think that we've talked about that too with elk and PA. Say someone gets drawn.
Oh, you gotta go film.
You gotta have someone there filming, dedicated film, because it's a once once in a lifetime thing here in Pennsylvania, and you want that to be documented. Like, no matter if you self-film, no matter if you do any kind of filming, if you have a YouTube channel, whatever, like, you want that documented. Like, I'm going to put it on a VHS.
That's winning the lottery.
Right,
straight
that's
up,
winning the
like
lottery.
That, that's better than winning the lottery to me.
I don't know what I would do with it, with a shoulder mount of an elk, to be honest, but I would...
Right here in the corner?
It would have to be a pedestal. That whole bar would just be gone.
The whole thing. Yep.
My whole bow.
You'd have to get it though, even if you put it in storage. You'd have to do it.
Well, it depends how big it would be too.
Yeah.
Right? Like if it's a 6x6, I mean, damn near touching the roof right
I'm
there.
not even into mounting stuff. Like I don't mount anything, but I'd mount.
You don't mount anything.
I haven't yet. I mean, I've mounted. My dad got my first bear that I ever shot mounted.
Okay.
Because it was little.
Yeah.
And I mounted a turkey.
Okay.
And other than that,
so you don't have like the racks on the wall or anything like that? Like,
not really. I mean, I have them, but I skull capped the big buck I shot this year.
Okay.
I skull capped all of them except no, I got a European mount of the buck I shot in Allegheny.
Okay, so you keep the antlers.
I keep them.
Okay.
I just don't display them, and I'm not into shoulder mounting them because my problem is I can't it's weird because I'll go buying a new bow completely different, won't bat an eye at it.
Right.
Getting a shoulder mount, I'm like, I could just go on another hunt and spend the same amount of money. So then it's like I usually fight that battle more than anything.
That is very true with how expensive shoulder mounts are.
Yeah.
It's like, because I've thought about I like European mounts. Like I
do too.
I love European mounts, but certain bucks, I would also like to do just
I like the rack hub
mounts. What's it called? The just the skull cap it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you do a skull cap of it, I don't know, I kind of like that. It's like nostalgic type.
Yeah, and then those, I I'm gonna probably do that with the buck that I shot this year for a little while. I got the rack hub mounts that you just cut it right off at the bases and you put the little insert in. This is clean, you know what I mean, and it's kind of you don't get the space taken up by the actual skull. So for certain areas that you're gonna put it, I like using that, but I don't know. I might get my big buck mount. I don't know.
So
probably won't. It'll probably sit around for a while.
It's also when you have those type of mounts, you can take them off the wall. Like a shoulder mount, I can't take my first buck off the wall and look at this. Just walk around. I could, if we're having a barbecue out back and someone asks about the buck, I can come in here, grab it off the wall, and take it out there. That's why I found 2 sheds this year, and I kind of like the shed hunting thing, right?
Yeah. Yep.
It's oh, this is pretty cool. It's the reward without actually going through all the work of getting the buck.
Yeah, yep, exactly. A lot less pain.
Right. So let's walk through. I want to hear about stalking in Nebraska.
Okay.
What's that?
We learned a lot.
Yeah.
We learned a lot the first year we were out there. Where we go, it's so wide open that you can't, you're really just using terrain. You're not using brush. Now, we went out and we usually go over Christmas because nobody else is out there, and it's hit or miss. You can be out there and it be decent, or you could go out there and it be absolutely miserable, and it really just depends on what the weather's doing.
Right.
But we went out in September, and that was a whole different ball game. It was like night and day difference because all the crops were up, and they hadn't cut anything yet, so all the deer were in the corn.
Yeah.
They would not come out of the corn. When we would go glass the can, compared to the first year, and I also think that they had some drought issues out there, so I think that might have led to a little bit of a die-off. But the first year we were out there, I swear to you, the first canyon we walked, we got to the edge of this first spot, we got permission on. Didn't see anything. We were let's get to the next ridge. It's a little bit taller, and then we should be able to see everything, and we'll just hang out there. We crawl over the top of it, and there's at least a 180 bedded at 150 yards. Yep, with 2 other bucks that were both studs. And I was like, what are we doing? This is not real. I've never seen a deer that big before in my life. Because, whitetails are big. Mule deer look like elk in comparison to those things when you see them. And their body size is so much bigger. Yeah. So, 150 yards, that thing's a massive deer.
Right.
And he was so, I can picture what his rack looked like. Because he wasn't like a normal buck. He went real wide and it was low. But he had all kinds of trash. It was nuts. We saw some crazy looking deer out there, too. But we saw them, and I was after that, I think on a normal day in December the first year, we'd glass up, 60 deer, and we'd see 10 or 15 buck.
Jeez.
Were they in positions that you could get to them?
Right.
Not always, but you could wait, and they would,
Right.
You have to really watch them and let them bed, and just learning that, watching them take their first bed, or if they're going to actually stay there, if they're going to pick up and move. And then the wind was learning how to play the wind, it'll blow in a certain direction for a while, but if you they always bed with their back to the wind, like the wind's that coming at their back all the time. So you're usually trying to hunt, like from what we found was like it's mostly a quartering wind that you're approaching on. So you're kind of playing the boundary of if the right gust comes, they're going to wind you, but if not, you'll be fine. But when you get up to the edge, like if you're going to like peek over the rim of a canyon and the deer's right there, like you got to make that shot happen as soon as possible, because if you sit there and wait a minute, you're going to get that random swirl that sets them off. And as like, it took a while to understand what was happening. I'm like, oh, my wind was good like the whole time.
Yeah.
And then it's like you get there and then they just bug out, and they can get out of some crazy stuff. I followed one into a slot canyon, like legitimately. I don't know why a deer would ever walk into the canyon that it did, because it wasn't much wider at the bottom than this room.
Okay.
And it was about 20-foot walls. Like it was like a slot canyon. Yep. We walked right up into it. Maybe I could give it another room length wider. And I crawled over to the side. I got up to the side of it, and I'm drawing back, and I'm looking over the side, and Casey's filming me from down below.
Yeah.
And I'm like looking. All of a sudden, this deer comes rocketing up the wall. I mean, it was like a damn near vertical cliff. Comes rocketing up past me at like 5 yards. Scared the shit out of me. Yeah. Came running up. I launched my arrow, punched the trigger, without even, like I just swung and it just went off.
Yeah.
Didn't even try it. Was like, just way out into the desert. But yeah, it was wild. So learned a lot. And then since then, like we went back. We went in September. We shot a doe the first time. I'll start at the beginning. We shot a doe the first time we were ever out there, which was like, it took us all week. We hunted public a lot, and then we did door knocking. And then once we got on this place, we got into a big herd of deer, shot a doe. It was a great time.
I was gonna say, how did that feel first year out there getting a doe? Because I mean, when people go out of state, they don't really go out to shoot a doe, right? They want the trophy.
Oh, we're
of
killers. We're going to shoot something.
Right.
Yeah.
You want the meat.
Yeah. And we never seen a mule deer before, and like that was my first time ever mule deer hunting. So to me, I lied. We went out to Arizona the year before that, but it was terrible.
Okay.
I don't really count that. But out there, that was like the seeing those deer for the first time, and like seeing a true big mule deer, I was hooked. And then this whole stalking aspect of it, and like getting close to them and making it happen, because I can be patient, but like if the opportunity presents itself to go after whatever it is, I'm going to go after it because I don't want to wait. So that, like, I really, really enjoy it. And we went back in September then the following year. We killed 4 bucks. The whole 4 of us killed. Yeah. 3 mule deer and 1 whitetail. We snuck up on a bedded whitetail in a creek bed and shot him at like 10 yards in his bed.
Holy shit.
It was pretty cool. And he was in velvet, and he was wide and like palmated. We thought he was a monster. When we saw him the first time, we were like, holy shit, that's a big buck. We creep up on him, and like we just see we're so close to him, and the way he was so palmated, like when he would swing his head, he looked like a little moose. Like he was like a little moose buck.
Really?
And
how was his body like mule deer to the whitetail out there?
It's like half the size. Especially that deer, because I think he got hit by a car because his one rear leg was like so skinny and like malnourished compared to the rest of his body, which is why I think he was laying along that creek. Like he was just safe there, and he was kind of moving around. Yeah. Dude, we threw rocks at him and sticks at him for like 10 minutes. I couldn't get him up. I just kept throwing stuff at him and like damn near hitting him with stuff, and he wouldn't stand up. And then finally, there was like a farm lane that came in, and a tractor trailer pulled in hauling cattle, and when he let off the brake, his Jake brake went off, and that deer like craned his neck up. I looked over, and Seth let it fly, and I just heard it smack, and then the deer just disappeared into the grass, and I was like, he put it right in the back of the neck and
spined him.
Yep, just right in the back of the neck here, and it was like so close, like we were on top of it. I told him, like, we were at 20 yards. I was like, we'll just stand him up. Yeah. He's like, I can get closer. I'm like, dude, if you want to get closer and blow him out, go for it. Yeah. But, like, I would stay right here because we were at 20 yards. He got right up on him at, like, 10 yards and stuck him.
And that tag out there is an either or for whitetail or mule deer, right?
Yep. Yeah. It used to be. Yeah, I think it still is. Yeah, it still is in that area.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm pretty sure.
They just changed around the weapons that you're allowed to use now. Because, like, before it was only an archery tag. Okay. Now you can, if you draw the tag, I think it's valid for all seasons. But you used to be able to buy 2 of them. Now you can only buy 1.
Okay.
And I think the allotment went from like 5,000 in Nebraska to like 3,000. So it's like pretty slim
for non-residents.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think that's right.
I think there's a lot of changes going on with the hunting tags in general for each state. Like
everywhere,
a lot of over-the-counter states are now becoming draw states. Which I mean. I kind of is good and bad, right? Like it's like, you know, for someone who wants to go out, like if I want to plan a hunt out before my next child's born, you know, like
where are you gonna go?
Yeah, like I don't have any points in anywhere, so it's like
Yep.
I gotta wait to see where an over the counter tag is to go out there, or like do I just put in for it and just hopefully wait like.
And that's the thing, you got to wait for that experience to happen, and it's like and that's another thing too with, you know, the whole HuntBNB thing is a lot of these places we're very whitetail driven because that's what we do, and most of the places we hunt whitetails, I mean, there's the exceptions like obviously Iowa, Kansas, there's places where you got to draw, but there's a fair amount of properties on there that you can go on to, and they're all just, you go buy a license and go hunt. Same with the fishing trips, obviously, you don't got to draw a tag for any of that, but, you know, for the hunting trips, it definitely helps out when you kind of can go on there and look and be like, okay, this is what, because we don't like to put in for the process is so complicated that we don't even attempt it.
Yeah.
We just wanted to go hunt OTC stuff, and if we can't, we're not waiting to go hunt. We'll just go find a place that we can hunt.
Right.
So, like, that's why we just started going around hunting whitetails everywhere, because when you at the end of the year, when there's not, you fill your tags around here.
Yep.
We're over Christmas too. Like, we're single and have no kids, so like we can just leave, and he'll call me and like we'll literally make a decision the week we're leaving. Like, he can call me on the Thursday and be like, hey, we're flying out tomorrow, like let's go wherever we can go, and we just leave. So that's how we ended up, what was that, 2 or 3 years ago, we went to Hawaii over Memorial Day, I think.
Hawaii?
Yeah, we went out for 3 days.
What'd you hunt out there?
Goats and pigs.
Goats and pigs.
Yeah.
Like on was it on public or was it?
Yeah,
like,
on public.
Really?
Yeah.
What was that like?
Oh, it was wild, dude. There's so many. It was like,
is it like a kill, like almost like coyotes here? Like you just.
It's worse than coyotes. I mean, legitimately, when we got there, we went up on the volcano first because we saw videos of people like hunting them in like the high altitude, and there was like 4 park rangers at the park when we pulled in, and I was like, we'll just go talk to them because like they know where the stuff's at. So we like pulled up to them, and they're having like a little meeting in the morning. He's like, just go pull over there and I'll be right down and I'll talk to you. So like 10 minutes later, he comes walking down. He's like, so what can I help you with? And I'm like, we're trying to find goats. He's like, you're in the wrong area. He's like, you got to go down. He's like, they're not up here. I'm like, really? I was like, I was expecting to see them up on like the sides of the volcano and the high. Nope. We went down to the bottom. The first group we passed, I bet you there was 1,000 of them beside the road. That's not an exaggeration.
Holy shit.
Like, there's legitimately 1,000 of them.
Wow.
In a herd that it looked like a little corral. Like, it was nuts.
Like, what kind of goats are we talking about? Like, are you like?
I have no idea what they are. I mean, I know there's sheep. There's like a sheep out there, like I don't know if it's a red sheep or whatever.
Right.
Kind of like a ram. We almost killed one of those. We were chasing them for like half a day.
Yeah.
And honestly, you can be in areas where it's really, really nice and easy hunting, like golf course level easy hunting, or you can be crawling around in like volcanic rock and your knees are getting all scraped up and you're bleeding when you leave because it was like, it's tough. It's really like, it's just so, it's everything's so sharp.
Yeah.
Like you touch it and like you can't put your knee down. You put your knee down, you're putting it into a rock and it's
you're
like
getting cut.
Yeah.
Damn. So what, like, why did that come up? Like, why, like Hawaii?
We just had fun. I don't know. We were trying to think of something to go do.
Right.
And it was like, we heard that there was like animals everywhere. So we're like, oh, it's a guaranteed hunt, pretty much is the way we looked at it. What I wasn't prepared for was how expensive it is in Hawaii. Like, I don't think we had a meal between the two of us that was cheaper than $70-$80. And I'm talking like burgers and a beer.
Yeah.
Like, that's how expensive it is.
And it's not like you can like take a grill down with you or like.
Yeah, and we're like we were there for 3 days.
Right.
Like, we literally just picked up, left. I mean, it sucked traveling that far for that little, but it was fun when we did it. Right. You know.
So what's that like coming back from Hawaii then? Like, did you bring meat back with you or did you leave?
No, we gave it to locals.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. We were, we talked to some people that we met and, made some phone calls. You just got to kind of ask around. Yeah. Because there's always people in need. And we do that everywhere. Like at pretty much everywhere we hunt, we end up donating a lot of meat when we're on these hunts, but just because the transport cost to get it back is, and I mean, we're traveling and we're killing deer. So, I have plenty of meat. So we'd like to donate it a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. I mean, especially if you're flying.
Yeah.
If it's someplace you're driving, it's a little different because you can just throw it in the cooler in the back of the truck and drive back.
When we go to places like that, we will, we take the mule deer back. Like, we don't fly, we're not donating that, but.
What's the meat comparison between mule deer and whitetail?
Depends on the mule deer. And also, I'm a firm believer, we're talking about this too, is it depends on how that deer dies.
Okay.
If you make a really clean shot on a deer, I feel like the meat tastes different than if you accidentally spine it. I don't know. Just it seems like it's chewy when you spine a deer or something like that, or it's like high adrenaline type, scenario. I feel like that meat sometimes just comes out a little tougher and a little chewier compared to the other way. That's just what we debate on all the time, but that's what we found with our mule deer, because that's what sprung it. Because the first deer we shot was clean, double lung, whatever. That deer tasted totally different than one that was spine shot.
Okay.
So
it makes sense, kind of.
But it doesn't taste much different than whitetail.
Okay.
More or less.
Right.
At least I don't think so. Unless they've been eating a lot of sage.
Yeah, I could see that. It's almost like if you're bear hunting, right? Like if you're bear hunting and you kill a bear that's been 100% eating garbage, he's going to taste like garbage. If you eat a bear who's been eating natural stuff, it's going to taste better.
And I used to call bullshit on that, but one time I shot a grouse that was eating blueberries.
Okay.
And or wild grapes, one of the two.
Okay.
But it legitimately tasted sweet like a berry when I ate the meat.
Yeah.
And it was so drastic of a difference. I was like, oh, that's 100% what he was like. You couldn't deny that it didn't taste semi-sweet like a berry or something.
Right. I do think that, because I mean, think about deer. Like they're either eating some kind of grain, right? Like it's eating
pretty much
something.
all.
Like, so you're not going to really have this fluctuation of what a deer tastes like.
Yeah.
But if you do spine it, or if you have a clean shot through lungs, heart, whatever, like,
yeah, I think it does something.
I think it does, because I shot. I mean, I don't remember what it tastes like, but like I know I shot one doe on top of the spine, and like they squirm around there for a little bit, right? Like it's like the muscles are tensing up, like they're
stuff's happening different.
Right.
I don't know what it is, but I feel like something different's going on.
Some different juices are going through those blood vessels at that point.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
one place that I'd be interested to go is like Michigan. So
yeah,
like, have you gone to Michigan?
No, but I want to, just to hunt big woods that are like endless. There's so many places that I go on here, and we keep getting like really cool places. Like this place down here, that Redwood Cabin place in Mississippi.
Yeah.
Like we really wanted to go hunt Mississippi. That was going to be our Christmas hunt this year, and instead we went back to Oklahoma.
Yeah.
But like Mississippi seems like a cool one, because like I want to do riverboat access to get into a place somewhere, and that's like obviously if you go to the Delta region, like you could make that happen if you wanted to. There's so many places that we end up coming across. It's like I just want to go travel. I wish I could just leave and go film.
Oh yeah, dude, that would be like, that's like the goal, I think, of everyone who like does like some kind of content or has like a business in the outdoor realm. It's like that, just to go around and like film someone, or like just to go out and hunt and have someone film you. Like I like self-filming, so I don't think I'd ever have someone film me. But like to film someone else, I think it would be pretty cool.
I get into it with like my buddy Casey. He's the only, like, him and I have filmed probably the most of each other's hunts. Like I film other people's hunts, but like when him and I are together, like I know he's thinking the same thing I am, especially like from us hunting around the country together. Like I kind of know what he's going to do. He knows what I'm going to do. So like for filming, it helps out with that. But like, and him and I have the same conversation every time when something's going to happen. It's like, well, are you shooting or am I shooting? We're like, I don't care. Well, you shoot. Like, to us, it doesn't matter who gets it done. Like, we just want to be there and be a part of it. Because it's not always about, I mean, yeah, it's fun to shoot the big buck. Oh, yeah. But, like, I have just as much fun. Like, he shot that mule deer that he killed, and I helped him. I had shot a decent one in September, and then we got on this one, and I guided him in on that. And, like, when he shot, I was damn near in tears because like it was the biggest deer I'd ever seen, and it came running right towards me like when it ran off to die, and I was like freaking out because like he knew it was a big deer, but neither of us had seen a deer that big before in person. And when he came running by me at like 50 yards, I was like, that is the biggest. That's like a 200-inch deer. Like that's what in my eyes, like that was the biggest deer I'd ever seen, and I was so jacked up from that, shaking. Like I was just as excited as him. He didn't even really. He was kind of in shock. He didn't know what was going on. Yeah. Because he didn't know how the whole scenario was playing out. But I watched it all happen. So like it was wild. So we never like argue over who's going to shoot at anything. Right. But filming each other's just it makes it more fun for both of us, because then we both have like a job to do while we're there.
Well, it also feels like you're also the one hunting at the same time.
Yeah,
like,
you're trying to hunt your own thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the best part of like filming someone, because I got to film my dad this year.
Oh,
and
that's
that
cool.
was like, and actually have him shoot one on film.
That's awesome.
It's like, I got more joy out of that than like half-ass filming one of my hunts, right? Because like there's a lot that goes into self-filming, so it's like you're trying to catch all this stuff on film. But when you're just behind a camera and you're filming someone else,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's just so much more rewarding.
Yeah,
I think.
and you can take your time and like actually focus on what you're doing. When it comes to deer hunting and filming, that deer's if it's a big buck, that deer's gonna die whether or not I get it on camera or not. I'm not gonna if it comes down to it.
Yep.
I'm killing the deer. Like I'm
Oh, yeah.
not gonna let it. I'm not gonna pass. I haven't shot enough big deer in my life to get to that point yet. I just started passing some deer, so that's progress. To get to another, I got to be at a way another level to not be doing that.
The first time I passed a deer was 2 years ago. I passed up a 7-point, and I had him dead to rights. Like it was like 8 yards underneath me. Would have been my first bow deer. Would have been my first deer out of the saddle. Would have been like there's so many firsts on that. Like it's like why did I not take it? But like I was like, oh, there's a bigger buck. You know, saddle and pass. But like it also kind of makes you feel good too. When you let one pass, it's like, okay,
sure.
I can see why someone would do this now.
Yep.
Then when you go at the end of the season and you didn't get anything, then it kind of sucks.
Or you let a deer walk and then you're like, well, that was that. Every time you do that, you're like, that was possibly my last chance. That might be the last deer I see all year.
Yep.
You never know.
Yeah, I mean, like you don't want to pass up deer that you don't have under your belt. Like I see a lot of new people getting into hunting now. I think are passing up a lot of deer because they see what everyone else is shooting, and they're trying to compare themselves to them. It's you got to get a small 6. You got to get this just a deer under your belt before you can actually go and like hold out for a bigger buck or just a and your walk.
The trigger time helps. That's what I mean like I used to try to when I first started like getting serious about the deer hunting, I was like, well, I'll try to shoot a decent deer. Quickly I threw that out the window. I was like, I'm shooting deer. And then you have bad influences like my buddy around who's like, just shoot them. Like it's like shoot all the does, shoot them whenever, doesn't matter. Just don't wait on a deer, just kill a deer. If it comes in, shoot it. Don't pass anything. So we started doing that. With the quantity came quality. Like, you know what I mean? You get through enough of them, like something good's going to come along.
Eventually, yeah.
And then once I had gotten like one decent deer under my belt, what I considered decent at the time was like, for me, killing an 80-inch deer was like, I didn't get that opportunity, which is crazy because I spent so much time in the woods. And I think it's half a product of being in Pennsylvania, half a product of me never putting forth the commitment to going deer hunting and learning how to deer hunt. I just kind of went out in the woods and was like, I kind of knew what to look for, but I wasn't serious. I was just kind of out there. So if I got lucky one time and it happened, that's how it would have happened, but not from anything that I would have done to, make it happen, really.
Yeah, it's so funny because when I got into it too, it was like, oh, hunting's pure luck, right? Like it's just all luck. You just got to have to wait for them to come in front of you. Like you sit. What I know now is like a funnel, but I didn't know I was sitting a funnel back then.
Yep.
It's like my dad just said, "Hey, sit here,"
and the deer are gonna come.
Right. Eventually, you'll see one in these next 3 Saturdays. A rifle, you'll see one.
Yep.
And you'll be able to shoot it.
And I think that's how people used to portray their hunting spots. Like it wasn't there was no further outlook of what's happening to cause that. It was just like, this is the spot you see deer, and that was it.
Yep. There's no rhyme or reason why you see the deer there.
You're just
the deer will walk through here.
Yep.
It's just, I don't know why they do it, but they just do it. And then you just like start learning all this stuff, and it's like kind of information overload at some points. But like you said, like once you just get out there and start doing it, you start learning from it. So like, what was that process like? Of like you said 5 years ago is when you really started getting into to whitetails in general. It's like, how did that what was that transition like? Like what made that switch happen?
It was kind of just my buddy was shooting big deer and I wasn't shooting big deer. Okay. So I was like, well, I got to kill big deer. So I got to figure out what I got to learn from him. So he taught me a lot. And I watched him shoot some big deer. And then I had an opportunity, I guess that would have been like I would say the second year of that, me getting serious. And I shot the biggest buck at the time that I shoulder shot him at like 12 yards. He was probably 135-inch buck. He was wild looking. He like came up real tall. He was a southern deer, so he came up real tall, and then he had like a hook, like a J hook antler.
Really?
Very distinct. That was the only time a trail camera paid off, because I knew that deer was there because of the trail camera. He walked into the bedding area in the morning, and it was right off of a cornfield where we knew deer were feeding at. He crossed there on a Sunday morning. I was already down. I think what happened was I had hunted down there like Thursday and Friday. Had to come home for something Saturday and wasn't going to go back down because it's a long drive to where I was going. And my buddy texted me in the morning at like 10 a.m. He's like, he just walked into the bedding area. You need to go hunt there tonight. I'm like, dude, are you fucking kidding me? I'm like, just waking up. Like, I had a long night. Like, I was like, I don't really want to go do this. But I was like, he's there. So I drove down.
How far of a drive was it?
3 hours.
Oh, okay.
So, but long enough at 10 a.m. on a Sunday, I was like, am I really about to bomb down there and just hunt an afternoon?
Yeah.
Went down there, got in there at like, as early as I could. And I thought I was going to be a little late. And I was like, I know the deer's bedded out in this patch. Like, he's got to be. So I crept in there. Luckily, I had a decent wind, and it was windy. So, like, I got in there super quiet. He had no idea I was there. It was hot. Like, I knew he was going to be bedded down. Got up the tree, and I didn't do anything until probably maybe 45 minutes before dark.
Okay.
I tickled the antlers a little bit, and I grunted. Didn't hear anything. And then I grunted again maybe 10 minutes later, and all of a sudden a tree started thrashing out in the middle. And I was like, he's pissed. And I could see the tree moving. He was probably at like 75 yards, and I could just see the tree going. And I couldn't see the deer. I just knew that it was a buck, rubbing a tree. So I waited till he stopped, and I could hear him like kind of moving around. So I gave him just a quick little like burp, like just to throw him off a little bit and make him look my way, but not him to pinpoint where I'm at, because he still had to come through a lot of brush. Well, then he just starts stomping towards me, and like it was like he was so mad. Like I could visually see him in my mind. Like I could see what this deer was acting like, because he was stomping his way in, and he was like busting brush. Like he was pissed that I was there, because I knew I snuck right into, like, I was going to be close to him.
Area.
Yep, and this was like maybe October, late last week of October. So it was like right at that time where they're getting frisky.
Yeah.
And he stops right at I'm like in a little semicircle of pines that are semi-open, but I'm like up high, because like it's so tough to see.
How high are we talking?
Probably like 30 foot.
Jesus.
Because I just couldn't see, like, to get to a spot where I could get actual shooting lanes down, because it's so thick, I couldn't see anything. But he was coming out of this thick, it was a clear cut at one point that's grown back up, but it was like nasty thick. Like so that's what he's coming through. Well, he stops right at the edge of that opening and starts thrashing another tree. And I was like, then now I started freaking out a little bit. And this is, again, I haven't shot a deer over 80 inches in my entire life. So, like, I don't even know what I'm about to witness here.
I was going to say, did you, like...
I knew it was that deer because we had the picture.
Right.
But I wasn't prepared to see him.
Like, because you only shot, like, 80-inch deer, right? Like,
yeah, like, the biggest buck I ever shot. I've shot a lot of deer, just never any big ones. So, like, seeing a big deer for the first time, like, it's a whole different ball game when you're going to shoot. And when he stepped into the opening and I saw his head turn and I saw that it was the deer from the picture, I was like, oh, my God. And it was, like, the most tense 5 minutes because, like, light was fading. I had to make a shot. So I drew back, and I was so scared he was going to see me when I drew, but I was so high, I was, like, just freaking out for nothing. There's no way he could have seen me. And settled the pin on him, and it must have been a little bit forward, and when I let it fly, I saw how much of my arrow was hanging out of him. I'm like, he ain't dead. He went running off. I'm like, he ain't dead. I called a dog in the next day. We tracked him. Very, very little blood. And we never found him. Never got another picture of him again. And then I hunted down there for 5 years until I killed the deer that I killed this year. I killed 2 bucks down there this year.
Okay. All right. So being 30 feet up, what's the arrow trajectory like? Cause
dude, I guess I get lucky, to be honest with you. I've just been doing it for so long. I always go pretty high in the tree, so I've always shot angles like that. I don't know. I miss doing that, but sometimes it's just what you got to do to be, in my opinion, safe.
Because I saw like the Sitka hunt in Maryland. Were you high in that one too? Because I mean, obviously with the 360, you look higher than obviously.
Yeah, I wasn't crazy high on that one.
Okay.
Those trees were so small.
Yeah.
And it was really tough to find a
Pines,
spot.
weren't they?
Yeah, and if you got up too tall, you really couldn't see much. So like you kind of had to be at like an intermediate. I was probably like 15 foot maybe.
Okay.
But mostly, you hunt some areas in Maryland, it's like pole timber, and like you got to be like, I'll go. So if I have my harness on, I feel like I'm invincible at that point, because it's not really, but like I'm tied to the tree, so I was like, I feel safe. I'll go 30, 40 foot up a tree if I have to, because a lot of the times too, it's not even necessarily like I'm 40 foot dead off the ground, like it's because I'm on a slope,
right? So
I might have to go that high off the base of the tree just to get my 20 foot above eye level with me, because I've been busted so many times by deer. Certain places they like to run that upper third, And it's like you got to be at a certain spot, but it's so steep where we go that like that's just where you have to be.
So you're talking about like if you're on a bench below the actual bench, like kind of like halfway up that bench, something like you got up.
Yeah,
20
like if there's
plus more feet.
up above you, yeah, like the deer will come in and be eye level with you
Yep.
up there, and it's like, yeah, they're gonna come down the hill, but it's fine if they come from the bottom and come up. That's perfect. But
Yep.
when they come from the top down, which is
You're looking at them right in the eye. Then when
Yeah,
they come
and
down,
then
it's
you
like,
get busted.
That's when you want to go up just a little bit higher.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm like at that.
But then your shots down are like bombs, like you're like way
It's
up.
like there's one down there. It should be like 20
Yeah,
yards.
it's like
but
a
really
60-yard
that's
shot.
like 60-yard shot.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I'm maybe I go up maybe like 10, 12 feet. Like I don't really go that high.
Yeah.
And like
Anymore, I'm getting to the point where I'd rather just be close. Like I just want to be right on top of them. I like a 10-yard shot. I'm not
Are you
trying
big into
to.
stalking now? After you did that a few times, like are you
Not really. With whitetails, dude, I'm pretty patient. Like I'll sit
Okay.
I'll sit in a tree. Like my buddies make fun of me. Like they'll call me. It's literally happened. They called me to make fun of me for sitting in the tree because it was December. It was after Christmas. It was like late December and like the last couple days of December in Maryland.
Yeah.
And they called me at like 10 o'clock in the morning to make fun of me. They're like, "You're up in a tree," like because they get down and they'll go. We kill them in like cedar thickets, walking around like stalking them. Like you'll just bump them up to each other and we get shots.
Yeah.
But literally, I had just shot a big 8-point and I was watching it die, and I pulled my camera out to film it on Snapchat. And as I was filming it on Snapchat fall over, they called me. And I let them talk first, and they were like, "You're still up in a freaking tree?" I was like, "I'm watching him die right now." He's like, "No way." I'm like, "Dude, he's dying right now, and he's right beside my truck."
Yeah.
He died like 50 yards from my truck.
So that was the one you got. Was it this
that
year?
Was,
or
no, that was 2 years ago down
Okay.
there in Maryland.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you like to hunt Maryland then?
Yeah, I hunt Maryland a good bit,
Yeah.
mostly because the season comes in, and you can a little bit earlier, and you can shoot multiple bucks.
Yeah.
So I like to go down there, and we get on some good deer down there. It's more a quantity of deer than quality for the most part.
The one time I was down there late season for some bow drives with Lane and some in the presence guys and all that kind
That's
of
a
stuff.
good time.
I almost had it was a spike. Like it was like this long ass spike. It was just hanging, flopping over here, and it ran right by me. Like if it would have went through one opening right here,
Yep.
I would have let it fly at him. But nope.
That's doing drives with them is fun.
Yeah. I didn't make it down this year. Just family stuff. Obviously, when you have a family, it's kind of like
tougher to get away sometimes.
Yeah. When she was a newborn, it was a little easier because it was like, okay, I'm just gonna go down here quick. I'll just make the trip down. Like she doesn't do anything right now, so But now that she's a toddler, it's like.
Yep. She knows when you're
Now-
gone. She's looking for you.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's completely different. But like, just on a public land, deer in general. I don't know. I get the draw to private.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would love to have my own piece
too.
of private.
Me too.
It's like a goal of everyone, I think. But also, it's like the amount of work you got to put into private in general would give you no opportunity to hunt public. I feel like if you had 40 acres, if I had 40 acres behind the house here, to take care of that, to maintain it, to make it look at least half decent where I can actually hunt it and manicure it where deer would actually want to come to it.
Yep.
It'd be so much more work. It's probably about the same amount of work I put into scouting public.
Yeah. But the nice thing about public, and this is what I'm drawn to about it, is like one, like I said, we've been fairly successful everywhere we've been, so I'm not deterred from it as far as that goes. And you always learn something. So that's to me the fun of hunting is learning how to do it better. So like to get to go other places and learn, like, you're not going to kill something every time you go out. That's why it's hunting. That's why that's not all the reason we're out there.
Yep.
But traveling around is definitely eye-opening. And then once you go do it on the public ground and you see like how good public land can be in other areas compared to what it is here, because like we struggle here.
Yeah.
Like I spent a lot of time in these woods, a lot of time. I still haven't killed a really big buck in PA. I've seen them, but killing them compared to, I hunted here my whole life. First time I ever went out west in Missouri, I killed a Pope and Young buck.
Okay. Yeah.
Just broke the line, 126.
Right.
But it's there. You know what I mean?
There.
Like it's there. And it's like that. How did that happen in 5 days of being out there? And I've been hunting here for years. I put in hundreds of thousands of hours in the woods, like legitimately, and never had an opportunity like that ever before.
Do you, because I've heard other people say this too, and I kind of felt it too in Ohio when we were out there for 3 days. Do you feel like you're more aggressive when you go out of state? I mean, because you've gone out of state a lot. I mean, it sounds like you're going out of state like almost every single year. You go
Yeah.
to multiple states, sounds like. So, like, when you go out of state, you probably don't put as much pressure on yourself.
Yeah.
And you probably are more aggressive than here in PA where it's your home state. And you're like, you put the time in, you put all this time and boot miles in, and you burn
and
leather.
thought.
Right.
Just thinking about how it's going to work out. But
Like,
yeah,
you'll
that's
lay
true.
at-
I
you'll
didn't
lay
think
at
about
home-
that.
You'll lay at home and think about what you just scouted and like try and run through your head. Like
Mhm.
if you had cameras, you like go through the camera data, be like, okay, this is what I want to hunt. These are the days I want to hunt here.
Yep.
And then you try and make that work compared to going out of state, go to
Just hunting
Ohio.
sign.
Yeah. Like it's like, okay, I'm just going to go use my woodsmanship and just go into
Yep.
the woods and just scout my way and then hunt.
Yep.
Like
Yeah, it's nuts.
It's so different. Like if I could get the mindset of an out of state hunt into my Pennsylvania season,
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine how successful,
Yeah.
not just me, but like anyone would
Yep.
be.
Yeah, it's definitely. I never even thought about that before. I definitely don't have the pressure. I mean, yeah, you get to the end of the hunt.
Mm-hmm.
I have one or two thoughts in my mind if we get to the end of it and I haven't shot anything yet. It's either like I'm thinking I'm not going to kill anything, so I don't care anyway. I'm just out here.
Yep.
Or there's that slight hope. It's like, what if I make it happen last day?
Right.
Like that'd be a story.
Yeah.
And it's happened on the last days a couple times. So like, you never know. That's what's the beauty of hunting is because
Mhm.
like, you just never know when it's going to happen. The buck that I shot this year, the big one, I walked in there and I saw the sign.
Let's walk through that hunt. Let's walk through that.
I've been struggling down there to find. It's all a lot of pines and everything, so it's
Mhm.
like it's dead flat. You can't figure out like there's no rhyme or reason. It seems those deer have been just every year.
Maryland, I feel like there's a lot of pressure also
Yeah,
in Maryland.
yeah. There's a lot of pressure, and it's like you go anywhere south of here, like Maryland, Delaware, anywhere that's like right south of here. When you get into those pines, those deer act different. They don't, and there's no terrain features to funnel them the way that there is up here. So they do different stuff. Well, I walked in and found like an old cut logging road that was kind of grown up and over, and there was like a couple scrapes along it, but it got to a corner where it turned, and there was a tree, little holly tree like this big, ripped out of the ground, and I was like, that could be a big deer, but it also is like a little tree, so like I don't know. And there's a
Right.
scrape there, but I don't know. Sometimes I see little deer hit big scrapes, so like
Mhm.
you never know what you're walking. At least I don't know well enough to look at a scrape and tell you what it is. I just know it's a scrape. So I was like, this is nice. And then I looked over and there was like and this is the biggest thing I've ever learned. I'd say it's the number one reason that I kill deer for most of the time is that there's always that micro habitat within the area that you're hunting, whether that's a couple extra bushes or that maybe that jagger bush goes out a little bit farther, or the holly trees are spaced out in a way that they have overhead cover for an extra 10 feet from breaking cover. They're always going to stick. I mean, it's a cliche. They're always going to stick to cover, but like if you can identify that one little piece, that one little finger that comes out of an area,
Mhm.
they just follow it all the time. It's like the number one place that I kill deer. Like I look for that because before I'd try to set myself up in an area where I'm looking around, I'm like, oh, I have good shots everywhere.
Mhm.
That's not necessarily where that deer's going to walk.
Right.
Just because it's good to you probably means that it's not good to that deer because
Yeah.
he means he's exposed.
Yeah.
They try to stick tight to that cover and finding those little travel corridors where if you can get into a spot and identify that, especially on the first sit you're there and can capitalize on it because you picked the right spot the first time.
Mhm.
The amount of times that I walk in on a first day sit and that's when it would have happened, and then you try to repeat that and it never does again.
No.
It's like I should have just done what I said because that happened to me this year in Oklahoma. I would have ended up with a much bigger buck than I shot.
Yeah.
If I just would have listened to the thought in my head because I saw it. I saw the little piece coming off and I'm like, well, I can shoot that from here.
Right.
I was like, so I'm good. I should have just went over and got right on it because the buck came out about 40 yards past that and I had no shot. But
Mhm.
that deer, he followed an edge out. And the day before I had sat there, I bumped a doe and two fawns walking in.
Okay.
And then I didn't see another deer. And I was going to go hunt somewhere else. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go back there because I don't feel like walking anywhere else and it's hot. It was like, I think I shot him on October 5th.
Okay.
Walked back in. It was so hot. And it was a youth rifle and gun season.
Mm.
So I had to wear orange.
Mhm.
And all I had was a hoodie. I had nothing else with me. I had a hoodie and a beanie from rifle season still in my truck. Like I just stuck it under my seat, and I forgot all my other orange. So I literally walked. I have a picture of me sitting there. I'm in a hoodie and a beanie with this deer, and I'm sweating. Like, dude, it was like 75 degrees, 80 degrees, and we're walking in there to look for this deer. But when I set up the next day, same spot, got in there early, and it was like clockwork. From the second I got up in the tree, a doe funneled out, and she walked right underneath me, and then another doe. About 10 minutes later, another doe, and then the doe and the 2 fawns came, and another doe, and I'm like, there's a buck's gonna come out of here. It was like, because if you looked at it on a map, the pines made a corner like this.
Yeah.
There was a tiny little finger, like almost like a thumb, that went into the pines that was hardwoods, and I could tell that it was like little saplings and stuff.
Yeah.
So it made like a little bedding pocket.
Okay.
It was like a tiny little bedding pocket.
Yeah.
And they were all in there.
Yeah.
And they just followed that edge right out. The wind, he came out with the wind at his back. I think it was because it was so thick in there. He knew anything coming from behind it, like he could smell it, and he would hear it breaking anything. And I think he was just using his line of sight when he got to the edge, because he could see probably, from eye level, you could probably see 100 yards through the woods.
Okay.
If you were on the ground,
Right.
maybe 75.
Yeah.
So he had pretty good visual, and it was so thick in there. Like, I snuck in on the pine needles up that logging road, so like I was very, very quiet getting in there, and I didn't bump anything. So like I think he was just following him out, and when I was in a terrible tree.
That's how it always works.
And I was only like 15 feet off the ground.
Yeah.
He came out to that path that I walked on, and I was dumb. I screwed up because I wasn't paying attention to where I was walking, and I was looking over in the open hardwoods looking for deer when I was walking in, and I stepped through where I thought he was going to walk out at. And as soon as I did that, I had a feeling I was going to be screwed, but I was like, you know what? I'm already here, so like,
Right.
what am I going to do? I was like, I'll just hope that it works out.
Hopefully you can get the shot
Got up
before
the
he.
tree.
Yeah.
Yep. When he came out about 10 yards to the left of that, hit the trail, worked a scrape, started walking down the trail, hit the next scrape, and then got up on his back legs like a horse and had his head up in a tree and was thrashing around. And like I saw his rack, and I knew it was the biggest deer I've ever seen in the woods, like
Right.
by far. Like I'd never seen a deer that big before,
Yep.
whitetail. And I was like, holy shit, like this is about to happen if I can make it happen. And I was freaking out, but then I got like real calm because there was so much brush in between me and him. Like literally I was like, I have no shot. I can't even do anything. What am I going to do?
Yeah.
Well, when he came down off of his feet, he took 2 steps forward, and I was like, well, I'm drawing back because if there's a hole, I'm going to find it, and I want to be ready for it. He smelled my boot track. When he stepped forward, he smelled my boot track, stopped, and instantly put his head up, and I just froze, and I was already at full draw, and he's just looking. And it felt like forever. He was just looking around, and I could tell he was getting nervous. Well, he took like a 1 step kind of like back and like postured up a little bit, and I saw a gap about the size of, like an apple. And I was like, I'm going for it. And I stuck it right through there. And I knew it was going to be further back, but I knew it was going to be liver. Like, I didn't have any doubt that it was going to kill him, but I knew I was going to have to let him sit for a little bit. So I put it, and I was shooting a mega meat, so I knew I was going to get a massive hole. And liver shot deer die pretty quick when you're hitting them with something that big. So I stuck him right there, and I knew the shot was decent, but I was freaking out. And I cried. I was laughing. I was uncontrollable for roughly 10 minutes. I couldn't talk. I tried to call, like I was on the phone with Casey, crying, trying to just get words out, like about what happened, explaining it. He's like, well, how big is it? And I was like, to be honest with you, I have no idea. I was like, it could be a 130-inch deer. It could be a 150-inch deer. I don't know, but it's the biggest deer that I've ever had the opportunity to shoot, so I shot it. And he's heard this from me about 5 times at this point, me telling him I shot the biggest deer in my life, because sometimes you get worked up and you're like, whatever. So,
tank.
Yeah, I told him the deer that I shot before that one.
Yeah.
I told him was the biggest deer I'd ever seen in my life because he was so close. I shot him at like 10 yards when he came out, and he was like looking down at me. So he seemed like, and he was in velvet, so he seemed like a giant. He was 100 inches. Yeah. But I told him, I was like, it was like a reindeer.
Velvet is
I was like, just reindeer deer came out, and I shot this thing, and I watched him pile up. But this deer was like truly a big deer. So when I got down and I looked at my arrow, there was a little bit of blood. There was no blood on the ground. I literally took 5 steps the way that he walked, didn't see any blood, and I was like, I'm leaving. So and he's like, go find your deer. He's like, they got to be dead. I'm like, dude, I'm going to wait till tomorrow. No questions asked. I'm waiting till tomorrow. I'm not even going to go look for him. I'm not going to bump him. I'm not going to do anything. So I just left. Called a tracker the next day because I was like, I'm going to put a dog on it right away. Like, I'm not even messing around. Like, I want this deer.
Especially
he was dead.
Big,
He was dead 40 yards from where I shot him at. And he just went over there, laid up, and died.
I was going to say, did he lay down or just...
Yep, he just laid up and died in his bed.
Okay.
It was dead smack middle.
Really?
Liver. He was probably, he definitely died pretty quick. Yeah. But I could have went back in 2 hours and he'd have been laying there. But I just didn't. want to risk it. And he went. I taped him at 152
Dang.
or 153, I think.
Public land buck.
Yeah.
Dang.
So like that was
wow.
my, and he's got double brow tines. He's
Mhm.
got split brows, and he. But like now that I shot that deer, dude, I'm telling you, it's like it ruins you because now I'm holding it and I look at it every day
Yeah.
when I'm grabbing it, and I'm like, it's a big deer, but it looks like a normal sized deer.
Right.
Like now it just looks like, because I guess also you get desensitized to it because you see so many big deer, like on TV or on Instagram or
Yeah.
something. So like, but like looking at it, even now I look at it, I'm like, well, shit, if that's what a 150 looks like
I think
I
it's
get why people want 180s because like this thing is like just a good buck to me. Like it looks, I mean, that sounds crazy now that I'm saying it, but like it does feel like that once you've done it because it's just like you've crossed off that accomplishment and you've been working so hard to get to it. Like, and that's another thing with like not mounting it. Like that deer means so much to me. And nobody's ever going to understand what that was and how that phone call went or anything. They're not going to know any of that story.
Yep.
That's for me. That's my part. That's why I did it.
Yeah.
So it's also like, I also don't feel this need to spend the money because some people I feel like, not that everybody, I mean, it's nice to display your trophy, but some people use it as more of a status thing. It's like, well, look at my deer, look at my deer. To me, it like that, what that deer represents and just having the antlers and like to say that I did that. And I've been working for that for so long. Like literally 5 years I put into hunting down there, hours and hours. Like it's just so much time. And then to put it there and to hold it, it's like doesn't get any better than that.
Yeah, I think to the desensitization thing, it's like people, that's 100% true because, you know, you go through for PA, right?
Yeah.
PA in general, it's like you shoot anything pretty much that walks by, like it's legal, you shoot it, right?
Yep.
And then you think, oh man, this isn't a really nice buck, and it is a nice buck in the eye of that who shot that buck. That's a nice buck. And you keep like you see it on TV, it's like, oh man, that's a massive buck.
Yep.
Like you look at the ones on your wall, it's like, you know, I don't have anything close to that. And then all of a sudden you shoot one, it's like, this is it.
Yep. Yeah. It's
It's kind of like this is what
Yep.
I've been doing it for. Like this, and then it's like, well, let's get something bigger.
Yep.
It kind
And
of
then
like,
you start down that rabbit hole. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, though, I'll shoot any deer that gets me worked up. I mean, like you see the other deer that I've shot this year. I shot a 5-point and I don't even know what the other one is. Maybe a 6-point. I was so worked up shooting the one I shouldn't have, like it should have never worked out because I was on my phone being an idiot,
Yeah.
not paying attention.
Right.
I got blown out by deer all morning, and I was like, I'm not going to see any deer anyway, and it's the last day.
Yep.
It's foggy out. I can't see nothing. I'm miserable.
Yeah.
I'm tired. I've been out here all week, and I literally was scrolling through TikTok, watching TikToks, volume on. Literally audible volume on. Like, I was sitting there watching, like, not even caring.
just holding that, not even like
Because
holding
this
it up to
deer
your
was
phone.
blowing at me all morning, and she was like, and I couldn't shoot her because she was too far away. She was just down in the bottom blowing at me. That literally went on for like an hour, and I was already accepted the fact that I was just done, so I didn't care. And I literally looked over my shoulder, and here's a buck coming at 30 yards. And I literally put my phone in my the volume was still playing. I like clicked it so it locked.
Yeah.
Put my phone in my pocket, turned around. He walked underneath me at 10 yards. I have no idea how this deer didn't see me. I was literally, because I was only 10 feet up the tree. I was barely off the ground because I couldn't go anywhere because these trees all sucked. And I was tired of walking around. That was the other thing. I was already bummed from the morning because I couldn't find the tree that I was told to get into.
Right.
Couldn't find it.
Yeah.
Couldn't find it.
Yeah.
And then I was like 10 feet off the ground. I'm like, I'm going to get spotted by every deer that walks in here.
Yeah.
Dude, I drew back on that deer. He did not see me until I literally anchored. He like kind of looked up and just stopped, and I hammered him. And I was like, after that, like it took me like 30 seconds. I was like, holy shit, that just happened.
Right.
And then I was shaking like a leaf. But
Yeah.
like, I was so worked up the way that all happened. If that happens, I'm shooting the deer. Now,
Yeah.
maybe not if I only have one tag and it's the beginning of the season. Like, you know, there's time and a place.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if I was really worked up one day and a decent whatever comes in, and I'm like, if I rattled and that deer comes in and I'm jacked up about it, or I grunted and he comes in and grunts and thrashes the tree and I start shaking or whatever, if I feel like I'm gonna want to shoot the deer, I'm gonna shoot it.
Well, I think that's like, I mean, obviously, you can't tell anyone how to hunt or anything.
Yeah.
It's like, I feel like that's how hunting is meant to be. Like, if something gets you worked up, like we're out there, we're not, because back in the day, it was trophy hunting. Like you were out there just trying to get a trophy.
Yeah.
Like that's they mowed down deer because they were trophy hunters.
Yep.
Right. We're kind of getting back to that again, of like trophy hunting, and you know, and now honestly, I mean, depending on when this comes out, like I think in September timeframe, but like the public land thing that's being trying to be sold off right now.
Yeah.
It was like 3 million acres for Mike Lee, but like we're getting close. And this, I wanted to like kind of end on this question because this is like a big question. I think like, do you think there's going to be a time when hunting is only for the rich, like kind of like over in England?
Yeah, I did notice that. We were actually just at a wedding over in Italy, and I was asking the lady the guy that ran the wedding place. It's actually a hunting spot too, and I was asking him a little bit about how that worked. They have to be. I wish, dude, that'd be sick. He was saying that like they have to register with the local police down there, and then there's like set time. I don't understand. There's like a lot of rules to it, and I could definitely see if we allow them to keep infringing on our rights that allow us to do what we do, I could easily see how at some point in time it'll get to that, because they're already trying to drive it out. And I think I saw something today that they reconsidered that bill, and I think one of the things that he said he was changing, I forget the gentleman's name that it was about, but it was like I saw that there was a limit. It was like within 5 miles of town or whatever, and that, I think, if you let that first step like that happen, it just leads to more. Because when does it stop then? Because then town is now 5 miles in. So then they're going to say, okay, well, another 5 miles. And that, I could see that being used as like, okay, it's these first 5 miles for the first 10 years. And then in another 10 years, it's up for renegotiation. And then somebody can come in there and be like, well, it's another 5 miles. Like, I could see how they can start to take that away from us.
Yeah.
And also, a lot of the times, like, straight up, I'm an urban hunter. Like, I hunt Maryland around houses. Like, we're in the areas where you got to be in a tree stand and you're 75 yards from a house and I'm watching somebody eat dinner while I'm shooting a deer in their backyard.
Yeah.
Like, that happens.
Right.
And when I travel out of state, I take the same approach places. When we had a terrible time in Arizona, we could not find, we're not Western hunters. We went out in the desert like idiots, acting like we would be able to glass up deer. I saw one doe come and hit a water tank right before dark. Other than that, I didn't see a single animal out there.
Yeah.
And we were out there in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
I thought there would just be deer. There's
everywhere.
Wrong. I looked it up. There's more doe tags issued, I think, in Lancaster County than there are mule deer in the state of Arizona. It's like damn near the same. It's like something really close to that.
I can believe that.
But like, yeah, it's just, I don't know. We went out there and we hunted urban. Like, we were like, well, where do we see deer at? Golf courses. We found a golf course. Sure as shit, we found mule deer. A pile of them. Barely any bucks. There was probably 70 does.
Right.
And there'd be a spike buck in it.
Yeah.
Now, we did have 2 big bucks roll through, but it was very, like, they just came through one day, were there, and they were gone. Because we were on the same group of does every day. They would go out into the golf course, they would feed, and then they'd leave. But that was one of those spots where that's public land butting right up against an urban community. So it's advantageous to the hunter. Now, granted, there's still a safety zone, but legal's legal. If you're far enough, if you're out of the safety zone and those deer are coming back up there to bed, why not hunt them there?
Yeah.
Some people might not like that because you're hunting pet deer. I didn't fucking kill one. Like, I still, you know what I mean? They're still animals, wild animals. You still got to try.
I just, this the whole, like you said, like if 5 miles away from town.
Yeah. Then
after 5 miles more after that, it's like, when does it stop? You give an inch, they're going to take a mile.
And when you get into areas like out west, people don't realize that what's 5 square miles sounds big. It's not. Or like, we used to, like, Nebraska taught us that. Like, we got permission on these properties, and it's 3,000 acres. There's 3,000 acre chunks, and they're all stacked together.
Yeah.
So all collectively, that's a 9,000 acre ranch that we hunt. We can pick it apart in a morning and basically know. I mean, yeah, deer can be hiding in little coulees that you're not going to see. But for the most part, you have a general representation of what's there. And it hunts way smaller. Like, 9,000 acres sounds crazy until you've been out there for a day and you're like, well, we covered everything. Like, what do we do? Do we just sit here and wait and hope that something pops up, which is what happens.
Right.
But, like, the distances don't compute. Like, when you're out there in open country, what you think is a lot is not.
Right.
And I think that's how they're going to get away with trying to take more.
Yeah, I think it's, I mean, like he said, like I guess the 3 million acres got shot down. It's taken out of the bill, but then he said about he's going to add that in there. It's like we can't, right now is the biggest fight we as public land hunters and public land owners, because we own that land. Like, we put $1 trillion each year into the national treasury or whatever it is to go back to that land and go into that. And you can use that $1 trillion if you want to and pay the national debt. I don't care. Like, but you don't take our land and then try and sell that off, because like people will be like, oh, well, it's just public. You know, there's millions more of it. It's like,
But that's to me, that's like you're taking away people's traditions, and like that's the whole you've seen the Make Deer Camp Great Again thing. If we stop doing that as hunters, if we all stop, like in Pennsylvania, obviously we have a strong tradition of doing deer camps.
Yep.
If we stop doing that, and there's not that voice out there, because like think about how many people are in the local towns that we were talking about that respect hunters because they know what they come there for and what they provide for the local economy.
Yeah.
If we all stop doing that, that's even more of a reason for them to come and take these lands away from us, because then it's like, well, you guys aren't coming up here and using it anyway.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, imagine if everybody up north, like in the Allegheny National Forest, nobody went up there to deer hunt. What would happen?
Oh, those
towns wouldn't be there.
There's so many small towns, so many small like mom and pop shops that would just be out of business.
Yep.
Like it's insane to me. Like there are, because I used to work out there a couple times. Like I go out there once in a while to work, and it was just like the small towns. Like I'm like, how's business and everything going out here? Like we get by.
Yeah, exactly.
But then it's like those times when there's hunting out there, it's like they're making more money than they probably ever made in the first 9 months of the season.
And I touched on it a little bit, but like if you click on one of these listings quick, not all of them have them yet because we're obviously still in the process of trying to work this all out. But if you scroll down a little bit, what we're trying to do, a little bit further down, keep going. Local resources here.
Okay.
So what we're looking to do is work with, like, we're in the process of reaching out to small businesses in all the areas, local taxidermists, local, either restaurant or bar, like we were talking about, and stuff like that, to try to, help connect these people. That way, these, they know exactly where to go, but also to help these businesses promote, just their own business, because they don't have any form of promotion typically. And I mean, just once I launched this and I understood how much ads cost to run, like Google ads, there's no, like some of the hunting shops that I go to up there, like there's no way that they can afford that.
No.
And I'm trying to I'm not trying to make a killing off. It's not like it's necessarily a profit driven thing, but like I got to make enough money to run the website, which
obviously,
But like if I can get these local, then provide them advertising on the website for like, I'm talking like cheap, like $20 a year. Like, just something to help them out and at least gets them out to a few more people for $20 a year. Like if I can do that for all these properties and help, try to help some people out in the process, like that's kind of what I'm working towards.
Especially like if you have, the hunting season, let's use the PA one here.
Yep.
Like the season runs from October to January.
Yep.
So like you have those months right there. That's if you have one person stay, or if you have a group of guys stay every couple weeks at this lodge,
and they're
going to go down there and see that. Like that's,
and you know how a night at deer camp goes at the bar. It could be you don't know what your tap's going to be when you walk out of there.
It's a long night.
Yeah,
sometimes it's a very long night.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that is like one of the most important things, like a mom and pop shop in the hunting industry.
Yep.
Like, yeah, sure, the archery shops, like all this mobile gear, all that kind of stuff, like that gets you into the woods. But these mom and pop shops are the backbones of hunting.
And that's where we all started. That's everybody can remember when you were young, like walking into a bait and tackle store, like along the river or something like that. And it's like there's still those gems out there too, especially when they're the local ones that like they're fishermen. Like it's a fisherman that owns it. They've been there. They have all the stuff that they know catches fish, and not like you just get those little gems like that. And I love coming across places like that.
Yeah, there was my cabin was up in Clinton County on the Kettle Creek, right there.
Yep.
And there was a tackle shop right there. Went in there like twice. Not really. I'm not big into fishing, so I couldn't really go in there that much after that. But yeah, he had like all the it was just full of just tackle that he would use.
Yep.
And it was like, okay, because fly fishing up there in Potter and Clinton County is huge. And he'd have a lot of flies and stuff. Like you're 100% right with that. Like they know their stuff because they know what's hitting at the time. Like they'll be like, okay, well these bugs are out right now.
And we're trying to build that relationship with these people too. That way, when we send people there, they know like, hey, we stayed at the HuntBNB location. So like, if we're like, it'll just help grow an organic relationship that'll be mutually beneficial to both, and then the other party is going to be both willing to help each other. Yeah. Because then they'll, those people will leave and talk about that good experience they had at that place, and then the owners obviously getting the revenue from the people coming and staying, but also providing them with local knowledge to actually go out and be more successful. Yeah. Because a lot of the times, you go and talk to a local, they can give you some tips that'll set you on the right track a lot faster than what you would do on your own.
And big buck contests too.
Yeah.
At the dive bars, we had that up at ours. Like it was, no one really brought in a big buck.
Yeah.
I feel like those local ones are like kind of deceiving, right?
Yeah.
Like if I got a big buck, I don't know if I want to bring it up because
Yeah.
like it's all the locals there. I'm
They
like,
all
I don't
know.
Yeah.
They all know where you're hunting at.
Right.
They're like, oh, he was over off of such and such road. So, yeah,
But
that
this
was
here,
Yeah.
you go to an out-of-state one, and you have a local bar that does a big buck contest. You can take your buck there.
Yep.
You might not go back there, or you might go back there again.
Mhm.
It doesn't matter.
And a lot of dude, you meet so many good people when you're out traveling too. Like a lot of the people that own these Airbnbs, like I've almost, not every single one, but a lot of these people I've had phone calls with, other than just exchanging emails about like what this is and everything. But like the people that I've talked to already, just from like the guy right there, he's an old the Hanger Lodge. That guy's an old retired fighter pilot or
Really?
something like that. Yeah. So that's why that's named what it is. But that's like a beautiful place out in Kansas. I think either the Goose Lake Homestead or there's another one in South Dakota. The guy also runs a taxidermy shop.
Do you have any in Massachusetts?
I didn't get any in Massachusetts yet. So I was looking for some up there along the coast for striper fishing. But yeah, there's
Oklahoma, Maine.
Yep.
Maine would be a cool one to go to.
Maine would be cool
to track down a buck in the snow.
I've always wanted to go do that.
Tennessee.
Yep.
They have some cool velvet buck early season. Although the bugs would suck down there.
The bugs would suck.
That would suck.
Yeah. But yeah, there's all kinds of places on here.
That's just a cool cabin right there. My wife would love that one too.
Yep.
I get picked for Kansas.
Yep.
Is Kansas a draw state?
Yep.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah, I think some places you can pretty much get it guaranteed first time, but like with 1 point, you can still draw. But I think for the most part, you still gotta draw anyway.
What's the average price of some of these?
So there's a lot of they vary a lot, but I would say the overwhelming majority of these you probably end up being per person if you were staying for a week in that $500 to $700 range.
All right.
There's some that are a little bit more extravagant, but I tried to keep them generally lower cost.
Yeah.
And I usually base it off of like, okay, if 4 buddies are going,
right.
There's some properties that are smaller that only can accommodate 2 guests that wouldn't really be suited for that. But if you're going with 4 people for a week, you break it down, it's usually pretty cheap.
Yeah.
And then what we're also doing is we're working on getting the hunt planners out for these locations. And we'll be switching this to like a membership program here at the end of the year where there's different tiers. And if you have like the base package, we're going to basically create an itinerary for every single property.
Okay.
And if you have the base package, it'll come with that itinerary. It'll give you the general information, sort of like what you would get when you arrive at an Airbnb. They host
like a package.
Yeah, but
like
more
that.
geared towards the hunter, not just the location. So more about hunting in the area. And then the next package up from that would be providing them with a little bit more data as far as like maybe terrain features that we know work, and with screenshots from a mapping software that's like, hey, this is stuff that we target while we're here. Trying to get a little bit more in depth with the information. And then we're going to be including some other stuff. And then obviously the highest package of it would be more of a full on e-scouting for a specific area for that person. Like if they tell us, hey, we're staying here, okay, we're going to really dive into trying to e-scout it the best we can for you and provide you with a nice package to set you on the right foot with access points, locations, areas that we would try out, things like that.
You could be like, we'll run cell cams for you too out there.
Certain places where we can get into that a little bit more. I don't know where you would cross the line with guiding at that point. Granted, we're not going in the woods with these people or anything like that. Like it's truly a DIY hunt. Like you're going there and like it's all on you. We're going to tell you where we think you should go and recommend you. Like, I'd like to think we have enough experience to be able to direct people around a little bit.
Yeah.
At least put them in the right spot.
And that's kind of like the whole point of this. Like no one's going to look for an Airbnb or HuntBNB to be guided. They want to get DIY.
And that honestly, that's the reason why we not only can I not afford guided hunts all the time because that's too expensive, but also like the most of the fun in the hunting for me is me doing it. I don't want somebody to tell me what, like when I go turkey, like that's how I got hunting in Nebraska. Booked my first ever turkey hunt out there with a guide. First ever guided hunt I ever went on. I told him the first day I got there, I was like, just let me go. I was like, don't even go with me. I was like, I'll just do it on my own. He's like, you sure you don't want me to sit with you? I'm like, no, just let me go do it. So I went out there and started shooting turkeys, and I went back 4 years in a row, and he just let me roam.
Just lets you go.
Yep. But, to do it myself is why I'm there.
Right. Yeah.
So.
That's kind of the people you're attracting anyway. Now, like you said, if you get into like, we'll put cell cams out and all that kind of stuff, like, or if like, then it gets like, okay, when's the guiding coming in? And some of these states allow guiding, but then you'd have to get guiding license, go through all this training.
You got to get, So, just really trying to put people off on the best foot to get going. And like, the key example that, I've come across that is like another reason that was a driving factor to do this is we went out on that Nebraska turkey hunt. We killed our birds the second day. We had 2 more days out there. We drove back to Colorado, booked another Airbnb to stay so we could be closer to the airport.
Right.
We were like, well, we'll go trout fishing the next 2 days. We spent 1 whole day of that driving around just trying to find trout. You can go on Google and say, where am I going trout fishing at such and such place?
Doesn't show you
It's
anything.
not like that. Like you can, like sometimes you get lucky and you end up in a place where there's actually trout, but it'll say, such and such river. Well, the fucking river's 10 miles long, so they're out on the river. So, like, we spent a whole day driving around just trying to find where to fish. Once we found where to fish, we went back the next day, hammered them. But we wasted a whole day.
Yep.
And we were only there for 2. So, like, that's half of our time. If somebody could have said, if we could have got on HuntBNB, found a location that was there and said, hey, we're going to be back here for 2 days. Let's just book this place because they'll have an itinerary on where we can go fishing at for an extra little bit of money. They'll tell us exactly where to go. Now you don't have to waste that day.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah. No, that's actually very smart because like when you said when you go like when I went out to Ohio, it was like all this Publix around.
Where do you start?
Which one? Like I had buddies out there who were like, hey, go hunt this area, all this kind of stuff. Like, so you have that, but like with this, you might not have a buddy out in Idaho.
Yeah.
Right. Like so, it's like you're relying on this service right here, HuntBNB, to like tell you where you should start looking, right? Get you in the vicinity.
Exactly. And it's not like, and every spot's not going to be, obviously this is a work in progress and we're trying to provide the most information that we can. I can't be across the country at all times, but that's what us establishing these networks with these local within these local communities with multiple businesses is allowing us to provide for people because we have boots on the ground in that area that are on our side to help our guests going. Yeah. And oftentimes when you take that information that they have from being there plus with what we know about hunting, typically we're providing somebody with what I think is more than sufficient to go out there and at least put you in the game.
Oh yeah, 100%. I think I'm gonna talk to my wife about going to New York.
Yeah, there you go. That's a really nice one.
That one looks
Yep.
That one looks really nice. I think that's something that she would like to stay in.
Yeah, there's some really cool spots on here.
Yeah, I'm gonna go through all of them and look through them. Where can people go follow you, HuntBNB, and all that kind of stuff? Yeah,
we're at the HuntBNB on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. We got we haven't really got big on the YouTube yet. I put up one turkey hunting video, and I think I made a funny video from TAC I threw up there, and then I was going through my camera from the kill shots from Africa, and I just was like, well, I'll just throw this together just because we took a bunch of kill shots of us shooting springbuck, and I was like, I just always wanted to put them all together and smash them up, so that's what I did. But
the turkey hunt will be reviewed on this podcast. Too.
Awesome.
I already told my brother-in-law about it.
Cool.
He was like, just let me know whenever you want to do it.
Awesome.
So it will be reviewed on the podcast.
Appreciate that.
I haven't watched it yet because I don't want to. I have to go into it completely blind. I was like, I was going to watch it the one day. I was like, nope, can't.
Nice.
I gotta wait till I do a review on it.
Yeah, I'm excited to film a lot more this year. So hopefully you have a lot more videos coming.
Okay, sounds good, man. Well, really appreciate you coming on the podcast, coming in the studio. Always enjoy studio podcasts, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, good chat. There we go.
Awesome.
Done. That's a brilliant idea.